All right, our next presenter is Briana Bononcini. Originally from Portland, Oregon, Briana has spent the past 8 years writing in the advertising industry, working with some of the world's biggest brands. She has also written and directed award-winning short films and music videos that have shown in festivals throughout the world. She currently works at the VIA agency. When she's not working, she says she enjoys drinking whiskey, playing the banjo, and laughing on a mountain of pillows. Her fiance, Andrew. Remember Andrew? From about half an hour ago and several inches of my drink ago.
You have not been drinking those fast enough.
We're trying. Andrew tells us that Briana's power animal is a penguin. She grew up on a mink farm in rural Oregon. They're having a barn wedding in rural Vermont next summer with a jug band and wedding pies instead of cake. She'd never been to New England before moving here at the beginning of the year. She prefers whiskey over vodka and pie. And once Debbie Harry of Blondie said that Briana reminded her of Joey Ramone. I have always wanted to introduce one of the Ramones, so please welcome Briana Bononcini.
I would like to tell you a little about Yelp. For those who might not know, and I'm sure most of you do, Yelp is a reviewing tool for businesses and places. Anyone can post a review of their experiences at a restaurant, store, or even prisons. I chose to cover this topic since so many of us use it, and so many reviews are horrible. Yelp can be a great tool. Let's say you're out of town and you don't know the city and you want some sushi. Yelp will help you find a place based off their star rating system, and you're guaranteed a pretty safe experience. And most restaurants don't have great websites. So with Yelp, you can at least find their hours, location, the things you need. Yelp can also be incredibly frustrating. First, they make restaurants pay for advertising to get higher reviews, so you can be misled. Second, there's power Yelpers, people who get perks to write good reviews. Again, it's kind of misleading. And also, you never actually have to go there to have written a review about it. Here's an example review. There's gonna be a couple in here. This one I like in particular because it's about a parking garage. And if you read it, you get a little bit of the personality of the person who wrote it and some of the things she might like to do on an off night. Over the course of reading many, many Yelp reviews, I have found that there are some terrible Yelpers out there. They go beyond breaking grammar rules, and they make me grit my teeth every time I come across one. I've broken these types down into 5 what I think are fairly broad categories. The entitled. They are never satisfied. The world revolves around them. We all know the type, and they love to express their opinions on Yelp. Some of my favorites are the people who get upset when they don't have a reservation and have to wait to be seated at a busy restaurant on a Saturday. There's a whole slew of reviews based just on that. The oversharer, they're actually really nice, wonderful people. They just give you far more information than you would ever need to make a decision to eat. The upside to them is they also give you really phenomenal information when you are looking for a place. If you're looking, they'll tell you about the food, the atmosphere, and everything, but they'll also tell you what they were wearing, what their date was wearing, what their friends were wearing, what their mother was wearing. The bad apple. The bad apple has nothing nice to say about anyone ever. They complained that the bread was too warm, the drinks were too cold, and the dessert didn't arrive until after the meal. There's a fine line between devil's advocate and being just annoying, and generally these people are just annoying. The ranter. The ranter takes meaningless complaints to a new level, regardless if their complaints have anything to do with the restaurant being reviewed. They complain that the person next to them didn't wear enough deodorant or talk too loud during their meal. They complain about things the staff couldn't possibly avoid or fix, and they don't try to fix them either. The comedian. They fancy themselves that they have a sense of humor, and they also need to Yelp about it. But really, their hilarious description of mashed potatoes or the amazing inside joke that they shared just doesn't really translate over Yelp, and I think should be avoided. And here's another review. And this is one that doesn't even fit into any category. I'm all for haikus and creative expression, but not when I'm looking for a place to go out to eat. I mean, it's actually not that bad either. So there are those people to avoid, which I've just talked about. And with that said, Yelp can be a wonderfully useful tool. And when you contribute in a positive way that helps people out, I have some do's and don'ts that can help make Yelp better for all of us. The first do is think before you write. Emotion clouds our judgment. If you have awful things to say, think a day or two before you post. Also, stick to the subject at hand. Review the restaurant, not your life, not how good or bad your date went, not the other person sitting next to you, just what you were doing there. And then cut the staff some slack. I'm sure we all know people in the restaurant industry, and they're only human, and we all have bad days, they all have bad days. And also offer helpful tips and information. If it takes you 10 minutes to find the front door of a speakeasy, save me some time by telling me exactly what to look for, which I think is one of the really helpful things Yelp can do, but we rarely see it. And give us frame of reference. I don't know what everyone usually eats, and my tastes, of course, vary from everyone else's. Whiskey. Give me something to relate to so I know I can trust your opinion. And please make sure you've actually dined at the place you're reviewing. And here's my last review. But this review was talking about how you have to be a meat lover. This review is for a steakhouse. So just some perspective. And some don'ts. Don't use all caps. When you use all capital letters and multiple exclamation points, it comes across as yelling. I don't like to be yelled at, even over the internet. And don't assume because you can post on Yelp that you should threaten to the restaurant that you're going to post on Yelp. Like, go talk to the people there first. Don't expect every restaurant to be the same, as you can see from these two scenes. Restaurants thrive and survive in their individuality. Expecting your meal at 4th Street to be the same as your meal at Five Guys is simply setting yourself up for disappointment and not giving a fair review to everybody else. And also proofread. I cannot tell you how many times people should proofread what they've written. And then don't post only 1-star reviews. If you can't see anything nice about anywhere you've ever been, people really just don't take you seriously because you have a bad time everywhere, and it's kind of extreme. Also, don't go to extremes. Is it really the worst coffee you've ever had? I've had, like, rest stop coffee. It's horrible. Thank you so much. I hope we can all make Yelp a better place, and the crisis is over, everyone.
Thank you, Briana. Now, why am I hungry? Maybe because I had little lads and whiskey for dinner.